In this video, I will show you how to draw the views onto a piece of paper. In the last video, we looked at identifying what the different views are and how to project them onto a glass cube or glass box. Here we're going to look at putting these onto paper. Now, I'm going to use my object, excuse me. I could also use my glass box here if I so choose to help verify what my views should look like. What you're going to do is just do a quick view or drawing of each view on your paper. You guys will be using grid paper, so what I'm going to do to make this a little bit easier is I'm going to assume that this is 1 unit, this is 1 unit, so my total object here would be 3 units tall, it would be 3 units deep, or sorry, let me turn this correct direction. As an isometric, I would be 3 units high, 3 units long, 3 units deep. That'll be a little bit easier when I put it onto the graph paper. So I'm going to start with my front view, then I'm going to do my top, then I'm going to do my side. Right now we're not concerned about what order, how they lay out on the paper. We just need to be concerned with how we draw these views. So if I start with my front view, I'm going to start on my grid paper and I'm going to draw a line that is 3 units. I'm going to try to make these dark so you can see them well by 3 units, and each step is 1 unit. So now this is my completed front view, and I will label that. So there's my front view. Now to do my top, I would turn my object, and again I'm looking at 3 units by 3 units as we determined earlier. So each unit here has a line across. Unit here, line across. So as I draw that one, I'm looking at starting with my 3 unit by 3 unit box in this case, because as you look at the view down, you see a box with a line across for each step. Now again, I would label this as my top view. So again, let's darken those in a little bit just for the sake of argument. So there is my top view. Now to do my side view, I turn my object again on its side. Now because of the object being what it is, my side view is going to look the same as my top view. So I'm going to again start with my 3 unit by 3 unit box. Up 1 unit, line over, up 1 unit, line over. So again, as I go through and draw this, this would then be my side view. So those are my 3 views of my multi-view. Now I would also, within sketching, do an isometric. As we get into this, you do have to draw those isometrics. So in this case, we're going to use our boxes again, and we're going to do an isometric view, which is my view that looks similar to this. I know my object is 3 units tall, so I'm going to go up 3 units. Now we're going to talk about paper types a little bit later. This is a graph type paper. We have orthographic paper as well as just plain paper. To do this correctly, I should also use my triangle. So I am going off at a 30-degree angle. Nice part is I can use my lines here as a guide for my straight edge, and I would be going 3 units back. Now, because that does not line up perfectly on my squares, I would take my ruler. These are 1/4 inch by 1/4 inch squares, so I know I have to go back 3/4 of an inch. So I would find my 3/4 of an inch mark, which is right here, and then I would draw a line up 3 units. And I am cheating without my straight edge, which I should be using. I would then connect these 2 lines. I know I'm 3 units deep, so again I'm going to go off in this direction, and I am going to go back again from my point I'm going to measure my 3/4 of an inch. Mark it on my paper. Again, I'm going to cheat here just for ease of demonstration. Go up my 3 units. Connect my line across. And as you will notice, I am kind of creating that glass cube like we used to create these drawings initially. I always want to use this glass cube. It makes everything so much easier. So I have my completed glass cube. That's the start of my isometric. Now I go in and I put my views in. Again, I have to look at 1 unit on each one. So I'm going to go in and put some reference marks here. I'm going to go across this line and I'm going to put in a reference mark at my 1/4 inches. So I know where they are. I'm going to do the same thing on the bottom. This is just going to help me as I do all of my layout. So this one, same thing. I'm going to make some reference marks. And I'm doing that on all of my lines that go off at a 30-degree angle. This is just going to make it a lot easier. So now I need to make my steps. I go up 1 unit, and again, best is to use your 30-degree triangle. I'm going to go up 1 unit. I'm going to go over here. My step has to go vertical at that point. It's going to go over and match the next unit. So I could draw in a construction line. And again, those are ones that are going to be erased down the road. So I could draw a light line in here. So that way I know I can draw to it. Then that will actually go all the way up to the top. And I can then erase my extra line. Now this gives me my step format. Once I have my shape, I can go in and darken my lines that become my object lines. Because they will not be erased, they are going to stay. So there is my front view. A little F in there so we know that's my front. To do my top, then I'm just going to draw this just for the sake of time. I need to go across, and I'm going to need to come down a unit and match that line up. This line is going to go across as well, as we're going to come back at that 30-degree angle. Go down, and again I'm just creating my steps. I come over. I'm getting just a little bit off as I'm doing this because again I'm kind of sketching some things in here just for the sake of time. So I come in, I get all of my object lines darkened in then, and that's everything that I'm going to keep. At that time, once they all exist, I could go back, and I'm going to move that just because I'm trying to do an example. I can go back and erase my construction lines, which were my box. And again, I'm doing this much quicker. You should be using your tools. Your pink eraser, your erasing shield. I can grab those quick. I can come in here with my erasing shield. I can lay it on here. I can do a nicer job of erasing my lines. Gets me nice and tight up to the edge. And again, because this is demonstration, they are drawn a little bit darker, so they are not erasing as well, which in my opinion is a nice thing because now you can see why I don't want to do that. So now that's how I lay out my isometric, and you will see some more examples of this a little bit later on. So you need to look at identifying what your view is, whether it's the top, front, side, or your isometric. and then you need to transfer those views onto the paper.